Good afternoon, students. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so within 2 minutes, we will start our lecture. Okay, good afternoon once again. First, we will take a review whatever we have seen in previous lecture because after many days we have started our lecture. So first we will take a review and then we will move towards new point. In previous two lectures, we have covered exception handling with error, right? How to handle the exception and what is meant by errors. We have seen in previous two lectures. First, we have seen what is meant by exception. Exception is nothing but abnormal condition, and we can handle it with the help of a try-catch block. If possible, in some cases, we can use the throw keyword. And today we are going to see what is meant by throws keyword. If this is the scenario related to exception handling. Then we have seen different types of exception handling. Okay, in that types we have mainly focused on checked exception and unchecked exception. Checked exceptions are nothing but compile time exceptions, and unchecked exceptions are nothing but runtime exceptions. Error is the another concept, but we can merge this concept in the exception also. That's why third part is nothing but the errors. Then we have moved towards its bifurcation. Out of that bifurcation, first we have seen what is meant by checked exception, which are the types comes under this check exception. Okay, for that we have implemented some programs related to arithmetic exception, then null pointer exception, array index, out of bounds, etc. And checked exceptions means at the time of a compilation, we can implement IO exception, SQL exceptions, etc. But right now we have not seen how to open the files from Java program. So in if possible we will see in the today's lecture, if not we will start in the next lecture. This SQL exception we can see in the JDBC programs. And last one is the errors. These errors are nothing but whenever that memory allocation machines etc are not available but syntactically or are correct, in that cases you can call it as a error. And whatever errors you are handling daily while implementing the program, these are also comes under this part. But we cannot handle it because error is the error. We have to check it and we have to resolve it. But exception we can handle it. After that, we have moved towards keywords related to exception handling, that is try block, catch block, finally block, and throw. And today we are going to see what is meant by throws keyword. Whenever you are mentioning the try block, after try block, catch block must be there or finally block must be there. Without this, either one must be there after the try block, because in try block you are writing those codes those who are having the exceptions, and in catch block you are handling the exception, and in finally block whatever important code is required must be implemented from your side, you can write in the finally block. That's why either catch block will be there or finally block will be there after try. Then in place of try catch, you can use the throw keyword to handle the exceptions. Now throws is nothing but, you can see here, the throw keyword is used to declare exceptions. It doesn't throw an exception. Okay, you can use to declare the exception and it doesn't throw an exception. It specifies that there may be exception in the method. It is always used with method signature. Okay, now we will see how to write it from the programs, but just for your information I have written here this information. Then we have seen and implemented try catch block, then multiple catch blocks, nested try block. So according to your application you can use it in your programs. Then we have seen the finally block. Mostly those are the closing connections, streams, etc are there. You can implement in the finally block. Most of the cases like databases, the networking programs, you need to use the finally block, because sometimes it may happen that due to memory problem your database connection is not built properly. So in that case you can handle it, and whatever important code is there you can write in the finally block. Suppose I am handling one project based on the database. You require database always. In that case I have opened the database through try block, but due to some problem that query means that exception is not properly handled by the catch block, but we have opened it, so we need to close that database. Same thing is applicable with files, that is streams. Today if possible we will start this concept. So we need to close it always, otherwise it will be open state, and it may happen that your data will be hampered by some another cases or some another users, those who are handling the same database. Okay, because for many applications database is handled by the different people. Everyone is having their own login, so whatever data is required by that particular member, they can access it through that database. So to avoid conflict as well as to avoid wrong data entry in the database, you can use the finally block. So this is the important related to exception. Then we have seen the throws exception. In that case, you have checked how to throw either checked exception or unchecked exception in the Java. And then we have seen the propagation of exception. We have implemented with its very simple program, and based on this propagation we are moving towards the throws keyword. Based on the propagation of exception we are moving towards the throws keyword, how it works and how you can apply in your programs. The Java throws keyword is used to declare the exception. They have mentioned specifically in the Java that the throws keyword is used to declare an exception. It gives an information. It gives an information to the programmer that there may occur an exception, so that it is better for the programmer to provide the exception handling code so that normal flow can be maintained. How to provide such a facility we will see in the program. Just keep it in mind that this is the mainly for information to the programmer, and that there may occur an exception, so that it is better for the programmer to provide exception handling code. So this is the main advantage of throws keyword. Then exception handling is mainly to handle checked exceptions, means at the time of a compilation. Checked exceptions are handled at the time of a compilation. If there occurs any unchecked exceptions such as a null pointer exceptions, arithmetic exceptions, etc., it is a programmer's fault that he is not performing check up before the code is being used. Okay, that's why this is completely based on the programmer, because throws keyword handle basically checked exceptions. So it's responsibility of the user or of the programmer where we can use the throws keyword. So there are two cases. You can handle the exceptions and you can declare the exceptions with the help of a throws keyword. But before moving towards these cases, we will simply implement a very simple program based on the throws keyword. Okay, based on the throws keyword. Should I move towards program? Hello, students.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, today I want to show you here one concept related to packages. Up till now, we have implemented only scanner class by importing the packages in the program, right? But today we need exception related packages also, because we are going to handle here IO exception, which is comes under the part of a checked exception. So each and every checked exception has its own packages. So for IO exception, we will use this. So you need to import IO exception like this. Import java dot. This is the sub package. IO is the sub package. Now you can see over here remaining sub packages also. According to your use, you can call it. So now I will call the IO exception. Okay, so according to your requirement, you can call it in your program. Now what I will do, I will create one simple class having name as a first. According to that, I have already created it while your lecture has started. Before starting of a lecture, I have created over here. Then I will create the propagation of exception over here. In previous lecture, we have already seen, I will show you over here. This is the propagation of exception, right? I have created one method. In that method, the code or the information which contains the exception, right? So that code I have written inside this method m. After that, I have called this method inside the method n, but I have not handled it, right? Then I have passed this method m to method p, and here I have handled with the help of a try catch block. So this process of propagation means passing methods to another method. information which are available inside that method, we are passing to one method to another method, but we are handling it into the third method having name as a P. Okay, so here that method is get handled in the try catch block. Same terminologies we are applying for the throws keyword. That's why we have covered first propagation of exception and then we are moving towards the throws keyword. Are you clear up to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will start it. First, I will create a very simple method having name as a M only, because we have created M method in the previous lecture. So I will follow the same. Okay. Just now I have told you that in the PPT, handle to checked exception, and where you can write Java throws keyword is used to declare an exception. So after the method, you should write its complete meaning. Okay, so how you can write it? Here only you have to mention it. Throws, directly write the throws and name of that exception. Okay, understood? In same fashion, whenever any type of a checked exception is there, you have to mention over here. Wherever you want to declare it, you can declare it with the help of a throws keyword. Okay, now inside it you can use the throw keyword, because throw keyword is used to handle the exception. So inside it you can use it IO exception, and you can mention here your important message. Means suppose that exception is occur, then you need to write here information which will be displayed on the screen of a user. Okay, so I will here write device problem, or you can mention the error also, no issues. Okay, so you can write your complete information related to that exception, why that exception is occurred in that case. Okay, so here that exception is declared, which type of exception may occur in this method, and here that exception is handled. You can use the try catch block also in place of throw, no issues. Working of both are the same. Now I will call this method inside the n. n नावाच्या मेथड मध्ये ती मी m नावाची मेथड कॉल करते. ओके, but while calling you can again handle the same exception also. ओके, कारण प्रोपॅगेशन ची प्रोसेस चालू आहे, त्याच्यामुळे परत इथे तुम्हाला ते एक्सेप्शन डिक्लेअर करावं लागेल अँड देन कॉल दॅट मेथड. ओके, then I will create another method void p. Now here I am handling that exception. ठीक आहे, मी इथे डिक्लेअर केलं, राईट, थ्रोज कीवर्डचा यूज करून मी इथे डिक्लेअर केलं. डिक्लेअर करताना मी इथे मेसेज पास केला, राईट, बट हिअर वी हॅव डिक्लेअर्ड ऍक्च्युअल एक्सेप्शन. You may have multiple exceptions based on the checked type. So you can mention over here whatever exceptions are based on the check. You can mention by writing the comma. Okay, but right now we are using the single. That's why we have written the IO exception. Then here we are handing it, so we can start with try block. Whenever we are handling that particular exception, you need to write the try block. ट्राय ब्लॉक मध्ये ज्याला एक्सेप्शन येण्यासारखा कोड आहे तो मी मेन्शन केला, बट राईट नाउ वी आर डुईंग दी प्रोपॅगेशन ऑफ एक्सेप्शन. दॅट्स वाय I have written that method over here, and I will create here object of exception like normally we have created for normal exception handling. Now you can pass the message to user system dot out dot println. Okay, okay, so otherwise you can pass that direct object also. So what I have done, I have maintained the propagation and also I have handled the checked, that is compile time exception with the help of a throws keyword. ओके, मी स्टार्टिंगलाच डिक्लेअर करून टाकलं की ह्या मेथडला कोणत्या टाइपचं एक्सेप्शन जनरेट होऊ शकतं. Now, whenever you want to call it, you need to create object of that class, right? So first I will create object of that class as is equal to new. Now call that method, and if you are having any another message after that sentences or after that methods, you can write the further code over here. Okay, so I will mention here further code because this is based on the application. Right now no any code is there, so I have written just message. Just save it and try to execute it. Okay, device error, because we have already written that message inside that method and which is based on the IO exception. So this is the complete working of your program. Okay, if I have written any information based on the here in exception code, in catch block, if I have written any other information, then that will be printed in place of IO exception, and this device error is nothing but whatever we have written inside that method M with the help of a throw keyword. Okay, so this is the working of throw keyword. So you have to keep it in mind that difference between throw and throws. We will see difference also in today's lecture, but first we will see both the cases. Okay, are you clear up to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, but you need to practice these statements, these codes, because here very light changes are there in between two programs. So you have to start implementing it, then and then only it will be very easy. Okay, now just now I have mentioned in the PPT like this. Case 1 is nothing but you handle the exception, and case 2 you declare the exception. So one by one we will see. First I will create the new file, that is the class. So I will declare name of a class as a second. Okay, I want to ask you one question that have you installed Eclipse in your machines or laptops? Those who are having.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, whether it's working properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you are having any doubts related to that, you can ask me right now only, because after this chapter, we are going towards the multi-threading. Okay, fourth chapter is based on the Java collection. We can cover it at the last also, no issues, because this is completely based on the stream parts. Right now we are moving towards stream also, and we can complete the collection at the end also, because it contains stack related data structure. Means completely data structure part is there, you can implement with the help of a Java collection. That's why I'm keeping it at the last. So after this chapter, we are moving towards multi-threading and networking. And then we are moving towards GUI and then JDBC, because GUI and database JDBC is very important for your projects. Those who are working on the Java or those who are preparing Java for POE as well as interview purpose, they need these two concepts. Multi-threading is important for the interviews as well as JDBC is important for the interviews. That's why I am keeping fourth chapter at the last. This is completely based on the data structures, so at any time you can learn it. That's why I'm purposefully keeping it at the last. If anybody want to prepare it, meanwhile they can prepare themselves, and at the end of this syllabus we will see it. Okay, आर यू क्लिअर अप टू दिस? लक्षात आलं सगळ्यांच्या? चौथा चॅप्टर मी शेवटी का घेणार आहे? कलेक्शन मध्ये फक्त डेटा स्ट्रक्चर इम्प्लिमेंटेशनचे सगळे पार्ट्स आहेत. जे आपण परत कधीही बघू शकतो, कारण तुमचं ऑलरेडी डेटा स्ट्रक्चर झालं, तुम्हाला इझिली लक्षात येईल त्यावेळेस मी काय सांगते ते. त्यामुळे आपण हा चॅप्टर संपल्यानंतर मल्टी थ्रेडिंग आणि नेटवर्किंग करणार आहोत चॅप्टर. त्याच्यानंतर GUI कडे जाणार आहोत आणि लास्टला JDBC बघून मग आपण कलेक्शन कडे जाणार. ओके, because multi-threading and JDBC are important for interviews. We have already covered OOPS concept. Right now we are in the exception handling. After that we are moving towards IO stream and then remaining one. Okay, so this is the flow for our syllabus. Now I will solve the first case. What is first case? You handle the exception. For handling the exception, you need a try catch block. For handling the exception, you need a try catch block. Now see how you can handle it. We have already created the class. We need to import the, because we are handling the IO exception. So if you are not specified which type of exception you are handling, you can write here IO.start. Means all types of classes are get handled over here. Java is the main class, IO is the Java is the main package, IO is the sub package, and here all remaining classes or interfaces are there. So this is the scenario to import the values. Okay, next. Here you need a propagation concept, right? For that purpose, first I will create here one method that will be in the format of void, which throws exception. Right now we have seen exception, that is IO, which throws IO exception. Okay. Now how to handle it? Okay, for handling we need a throw keyword. And inside that your information. This is related to input output. That's why we are writing here device error. Device error. Okay, so according to use you can write over here. Okay, next we have written this code inside the method. Inside the method. Yes, students. Okay, now for that we need one more class. For that we need one more class because we want to call it in another class. ठीक आहे, मी हे एका क्लास मध्ये लिहिलंय, मला आता ते दुसऱ्या क्लास मध्ये कॉल करायचं. So what we will do, we will first create that class. We will shift this code because here main method we are writing. So I will create one class having name as a, we are writing it for testing, so I will mention here as a test. Okay, same process is there. जर तुम्ही इक्लिप्स मध्ये करत असाल किंवा नेटबीन्स मध्ये करत असाल तर मोस्टली सेपरेट ठेवा क्लासेस, जेणेकरून तुम्हाला इझी जातं. Okay, I have saved it, and here no need to make it as a public. Okay, whenever you are writing in the another class, you need to mention here public, otherwise you cannot call inside another class. Okay, now here in this class what I will do inside the main method, I will write that code inside the try block. I will create object of that file. Test t is equal to okay, जे नॉर्मली आपण ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएशन करतो सेम प्रोसेस केली. त्याच्यानंतर टी डॉट नेम ऑफ दॅट क्लास इज मेथड. आता जर तो कॉल झाला असेल तर तिथल्या सगळ्या मेथड्स तुम्हाला इथे ऍक्सेसिबल दिसतील या पार्ट मध्ये. ठीक आहे, तिथं मेथड नावाची आपली मेथड होती ती तुम्हाला इथे दिसली. जर कॉल झालं नसतं तर हे तुम्हाला दिसलं नसतं. त्याच्यावरनं तुम्ही ओळखू शकता. Catch block inside this you can directly write the type of exception, and if you are not clear about that exception then just mention the parent class of that exception. Okay, SOP. Inside your information, or you can write the E also. Okay, here we have handle. Just a minute. Then what are remaining code is there, you can mention here. So you can write here remaining code or normal flow of code, because whenever you are writing the applications, it may happen that you are having the another process also, so you can mention here. So save it and implement this this class which is holding the main method. Okay, so second, run as. Okay, so this is the first case, that is handle the exception. First case, handle the exception. Okay, are you clear for this? Here we have declared as well as handled that exception. That's why this is the handling of a exception. Second case is what? Just declaration of a exception, not a handling. ओके, म्हणजे जी काही तुमचं एक्सेप्शन असेल ते येऊ दे, आपण त्याला हँडल नाहीत करणार, फक्त डिक्लेअर करणार. दिस विल बी सेकंड क्लास. ओके, लक्षात येतं सगळ्यांच्या? आपण ही जी टेस्ट डॉट जावा क्रिएट केली होती, ह्याच्यामध्ये आपण फक्त डिक्लेअर केलं. वी हॅव नॉट हँडल ॲट ऑल इन दिस मेथड. Just we have declared and we have handled that exception in the another class which is holding the main method, and inside in the try catch block we have handled that method. Okay, because we know that that method contains the exception, that's why we have written inside the try catch block. But if we will not handle it, then it is called as the just declaration part, that is the second case. So what I will do, I will just create one another class third which holds the main method, but I will call the same one over here. Means I will call same method over here. First I will create the object t is equal to new test. Okay, then call that method t dot method. Okay, but we have written outside the try block, that's why it is not handled. That's why it is not handled over here. Okay, but whenever you are mentioning in such case, then you need to write here throws keyword. लक्षात येतं, ज्या केस मध्ये तुम्ही ट्राय कॅच वापरणार नाही त्या केस मध्ये तुम्हाला तिथे थ्रोज कीवर्ड मेन्शन करावा लागेल. हाऊ टू मेन्शन इट? थ्रोज, whichever type is there, you have to mention over here. Okay, now it's showing you like this because I have not written here package. Okay, whenever I will write the package, it will remove that error. And after that, whatever code is there, remaining code, you can write over here like this. मी फक्त चेंज कुठे केला, मी ट्राय कॅच लिहायच्या ऐवजी डायरेक्टली थ्रोज कीवर्ड लिहिला. That's why it is not handled, just declared. Okay, त्यामुळे rest of the code implement व्हायचा विषयच नाही. Understood? Yes, students, have you understood it? So this is the second case, just declaration of a exception, not a handling of exception. जेव्हा जेव्हा थ्रोज कीवर्ड लिहिताल तो दरवेळेस लिहिताना मेथड नंतरच येणं गरजेचं आहे. दिस इज द करेक्ट writing of a method, throws keyword. आणि तो आपण जो काही मेसेज लिहिला होता डिव्हाइस एरर म्हणून तो इथे तुम्हाला प्रिंट झाला आणि त्यांनी लोकेशन दाखवली 4th लोकेशन आणि हे 7th लोकेशनला आहे. ठीक आहे. दिस इज द वे टू हँडल द एक्सेप्शन and declaration of the exception. Any queries inside it? सिंपल कोड घेतलेला आहे जेणेकरून तुम्हालाही कॉम्प्लिकेटेड वाटू नये. जेव्हा प्रॅक्टिस होईल त्यावेळेस तुम्हाला ऑटोमॅटिकली ह्या गोष्टी लक्षात राहत जातील. ठीक आहे, कारण तुम्ही आता पहिल्यांदाच बघताय थ्रोज कीवर्ड, त्यामुळे तुम्हाला वाटेल की या दोघांचे डिफरन्स काय. त्याच्यामुळे आपण आता डिफरन्स कडे जाऊया. ओके. whether my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see difference between throw and throws keyword. First, Java throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. Okay, you have already seen in the previous examples. Java throw keyword is mainly used to explicitly throw an exception, and throws keyword is used to declare an exception. Throw keyword use करून तुम्ही yes okay थ्रो कीवर्ड यूज करून तुम्ही एक्सप्लिसिटली कॉल करू शकता एक्सेप्शन प्लस हँडल करू शकता. जसं की तुम्ही ट्राय कॅच मध्ये इम्प्लिसिटली करता, पण थ्रो असेल तर ते एक्सप्लिसिटली कन्सिडर होतं आणि थ्रोज मध्ये फक्त ते डिक्लेअर केलं जातं. ओके. देन checked exception cannot be propagated using throw only. We have already seen in the propagation of exception in the checked part, right? But checked exception also propagated with throws keyword. ओके. आपण दोन्ही एक्झाम्पल्स पाहिली. प्रिव्हियस लेक्चरला आपण एक्सेप्शन प्रोपॅगेशन ऑफ एक्सेप्शन चेक केलं, पण तिथे आपण काय लिहित होतो, अनचेक्ड एक्सेप्शन्स पर्पजफुली इम्प्लिमेंट केले होते. का तर चेक्ड एक्सेप्शन्स आपण प्रोपॅगेट करू शकत नाही, पण थ्रोज कीवर्ड यूज केला तर तुम्हाला चेक्ड एक्सेप्शन्स प्रोपॅगेट करता येतात. देन थ्रो इज फॉलोड बाय an instance. Throws is followed by class. Okay. Throw is followed by an instance. I will show you over here. Throw is followed by an instance because इथे आपण instance create करतो. Instance create करायचं असेल तर तुम्हाला new keyword लागतो, right? That's why whenever we are creating instance, that is object of any class, we are using the new keyword. So throw is followed by instance and throws is followed by class. This IO exception is nothing but class. You can see its information also. Java IO exceptions. Okay. हा काय आहे तर class आहे. Throws keyword is always followed by class and throw keyword is always followed by instance. Throw is written within the method. ओके. तुम्हाला ते आतापर्यंत लक्षात आलंच असेल, आपण थ्रो कीवर्ड मेथडच्या आतमध्ये लिहितो आणि थ्रोज कीवर्ड इज यूज विथ द मेथड सिग्नेचर. म्हणजे जिथे मेथड डिक्लेअर करतो त्याच्यासोबतच आपण थ्रोज कीवर्ड लिहितो. लक्षात येते, इथे मेथड डिक्लेअर केली त्याच्यासोबतच मी थ्रोज कीवर्ड लिहिला आणि थ्रो कीवर्ड इनसाइड द मेथड डिक्लेअर केला. ओके. सो दिस इज द मेन डिफरन्स. यू कॅनॉट थ्रो मल्टिपल एक्सेप्शन्स. You cannot throw multiple exceptions. Right now I have told you that whenever you want to handle the multiple exceptions, you can write it in this fashion. Okay. Suppose more than 2 exceptions are there, so you can directly write throws first name of exception comma second name of exception like this. This facility is available with throws keyword. Okay. Are you clear? Yes, students, are you clear? Okay. Now, this is completely related to exception handling. Okay. Exception handling is completely based on total 5 keywords: try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. So whenever you will do all these things perfectly, you can easily handle the exceptions and you can easily achieve the importance of these exceptions. So it's important for the interview perspective as well as oral perspective also. दिसायला जरी एक्सेप्शन इझी वाटत असलं तरी थ्रो आणि थ्रोज तुम्हाला परफेक्ट करावं लागेल, जेणेकरून ह्या ज्या दोन गोष्टी आहेत, चेक्ड एक्सेप्शन आणि अनचेक्ड एक्सेप्शन, या तुम्हाला प्रॉपरली एक्सप्लेन करता येतील. Next one is the custom exceptions. Next one is the custom exceptions. Okay, we have already implemented for the blood donation, right? Otherwise, no, we have implemented for the age, right? Voting related exception with the help of this pattern. Am I correct? Voting exception we have implemented, or should I check it? Just a minute, I'm checking it. Yes, we have written inside this exception, that is custom exception related to age, right? But we have used there if else. Am I correct? Yes, students, am I correct? But there are different ways are also there to implement the custom exception. Okay, so right now we will see it. Yes, we have implemented with the help of a if else loop. We have implemented with the help of a if else loop. So now I will use the super keyword to handle it. Okay, so see first, then you can implement it for another statement from your side. Okay, meanwhile, just tell me that all of you, have you done the video for the submission?
Yes, ma'am.
Student. Okay, is there any queries? I have changed the size also. So those who are facing problem while uploading the video, they can upload it. And still, if you are facing the issues, you can ask me. Okay. Okay, so what I will do, I will implement one exception handling based on the custom exceptions, and you have to implement one more statement based on this custom exception. Okay. Custom exception is also very easy because you need to design each and everything for this. 4. This is the 4th program, so I will give name as 4. Okay. Now, here you need 2 classes. Here you need 2 classes. In one class, I will declare the important message related to age or related to information of voting. ओके, वोटिंगचीच कन्सेप्ट घेऊयात. फक्त आपण इथे फॉर्मॅट काय देतोय की डिफरंट क्लासेस मध्ये इम्प्लिमेंट केले. सो आय विल रब दिस बिकॉज वी नीड इट इन अनदर क्लास. ठीक आहे, तर आता इथे मी क्लासला ऑलरेडी नाव दिलंय 4 नावाचं. ठीक आहे, तुम्ही तुमच्या एक्सेप्शनचं नाव दिलं तरी चालेल. which extends the exception main or parent class of exception, right? इथे आपण काय यूज करतोय तर इनहेरिटन्स कन्सेप्ट यूज करतोय का तर तुम्हाला एक्सेप्शनला कॉल करायचे. बट sometimes it may happen that you are accessing the inbuilt exceptions also. Okay, so we will see this case later, but today we will see this case first, means how to design our own exceptions. So invalid age exception or voting is not allowed, like this messages we can pass over here. So for that purpose, first we will write one method to check whether that exception is occur over or not. So I will write here method as invalid age exception. This is the name of our method. Inside, you need to pass the value we are taking from the user. So I will write here string value, or you can write here as a string s1, no issues. Okay, user कडनं value घेतो. Then inside it, see here, it has given me message like this because this method is not available inside the inbuilt classes. That's why it is showing you like this error. Okay, but whenever you will complete it, it will be resolved. Okay. So this is related to one simple class having name as a 4. Okay, but what I will do, I will create the same name, because what happens whenever you are calling in another class, it may generate the confusion in between you. So I will create a one more method which is having the this name, invalid age exception. Just a minute. That will be very easy. Because it will directly act as a one constructor over here. No need to create the method. No need to create the method. Okay. See here it's mentioned the like this also. Remove the argument subset. So it will be get removed. Okay, so what we have done, just we have created one here extends. जे मगाशी आपण तिथे लिहिलं त्याच आपण इकडे लिहित आहोत. Extends parent class that is exception. ठीक आहे. जरी मी ह्याच्यामध्ये S1 मेन्शन केलं तर आता ते कन्स्ट्रक्टर म्हणून देईल. मगाशी हँडल केलं नव्हतं, म्हणजेच इनहेरिट केलेलं नव्हतं म्हणून त्याला इथे एरर आली होती. Now here, now how you can call it? You can directly call over here with the help of a object. Object यूज करून तुम्ही इथे कॉल करू शकता. कोणाला? त्या मेथडला. पण त्यासाठी तुम्हाला ती आधी हँडल करणं गरजेचं आहे. How to handle it? With the help of this method. ही पण user defined method आहे. राईट. इथे तुम्ही एज घेताय का तर आपण इनव्हॅलिड एज हँडल करतोय. थ्रोज. कोणाला थ्रोज करताय? इनव्हॅलिड एज एक्सेप्शन. युजर डिफाईन एक्सेप्शन आपण इथे क्रिएट केली. राईट. आणि ते आपण इथे पास करणार आहोत थ्रोज साठी. त्याच्यानंतर तुमची ऍक्च्युअल मेथड ओपन होईल. इफ एज इज लेस दॅन 18. If age is less than 18, then we are throwing the exception. We are throwing the exception, invalid age exception, and you can pass your message over here. Age is below 18. Age is below 18. Otherwise, sorry, semicolon I have not mentioned. In else part, system dot out dot println, and you can pass your message. Welcome for voting, or you are eligible for voting. You are eligible for voting. Okay, so this is the simple one. Now, just we have created over here. Now we need to call it. Okay, by mistakenly I have written inside the main method. Sorry for that. Okay, now we need to call it in the main method. How to call it? Just create the object of a class. Just create the object of a class and call it. But here, what we have done? We have declared this method as a static. So you can directly call inside the main method. We are designing the custom exceptions, that is user defined one. So we need to handle it inside the try block like normal we are implementing. So just write a try block, and inside this try block call this method validate and pass the age. First I will pass the 20 for normal implementation, and then we will check for the less value. Here pass the name, that is invalid age exception. Then you can pass the message as SOP system.out.println. Okay, and whatever you message want to pass it, you can pass over here. So I will mention here exception occurred, and that exception is nothing but plus e. ओके, जे काही तुमचं एक्सेप्शन आहे ते इथे तुम्ही मेन्शन करू शकता, राईट. Then if any other code is there, you can mention here like this after the catch block. Rest of the code. Okay, so save it and implement it. ठीक आहे, आधी मी फ्लो परत एकदा सांगते, मग आपण इम्प्लिमेंटेशनला जाऊ. पहिल्यांदा काय केलं, आपण एक क्लास घेतला, जे आपल्याला एक्सेप्शनचं नाव द्यायचं तेच ते आपण क्लासला दिलं. इथे कुणाला कॉल केलं तर पॅरेंट क्लास ऑफ एक्सेप्शन वी हॅव inherited over here, because we need to declare it as a one type of a exception. So we need to acquire the class exception, which is the parent class. According to that, we have extended over here, and then we have created here one constructor of that particular class. ठीक आहे, त्या क्लासचा मी कन्स्ट्रक्टर क्रिएट केला आणि त्याच्यामध्ये एक व्हेरिएबल पास केलं, स्ट्रिंग व्हेरिएबल. का तर आपल्याला जर एखादं स्टेटमेंट युजरला पास करायचं असेल, सपोज आय हॅव रिटन आय एक्सेप्शन अँड इन दॅट केस आय हॅव पास्ड वन मेसेज एज अ डिव्हाइस here, right? So such a type of a messages you can pass through this constructor. That's why I have written here name as an invalid age exception, which is a constructor, and I'm passing here one string value which hold the message must be provided to user. ओके, त्याच्यामुळे जर मेसेज पास करायचा असेल तर तो आपण इथून पास करू शकतो. व्हाय वी हॅव रिटन हिअर सुपर? If I will not write the super, then we need to pass the each and everything. Now you know what is the use of super keyword and what is the use of this keyword. जर सेम क्लास मध्ये असेल, सॉरी सेम क्लास मध्ये तुम्हाला सेम व्हेरिएबल्स मेथड्स मध्ये ऍक्सेस करायचे असतील, सेम नेम, त्या केस मध्ये तुम्ही दिस कीवर्ड वापरता. आणि इनहेरिटन्सच्या कन्सेप्ट मध्ये सेम व्हेरिएबल्स ऍक्सेस करायचे असतील तर तुम्ही सुपर कीवर्ड वापरता. अकॉर्डिंग टू दॅट, इन मेन class, that is in parent class of a exception, in same way you are calling the messages inside the constructor, right? या फॉर्मॅट मध्ये तुम्हाला ऑलरेडी एक्सेप्शन मध्ये फॅसिलिटी अवेलेबल आहे. तीच फॅसिलिटी आपण इकडे अवेल करून घेण्यासाठी काय यूज करतोय? सुपर कीवर्ड. ओके, इनहेरिटन्स मध्येच आपण सुपर कीवर्ड यूज करतो, त्याच फॉर्मॅट मध्ये आपण इथे सुपर कीवर्ड कन्स्ट्रक्टर साठी कॉल केलं. देन this is the perfect declaration of user defined exception. Now we are moving towards actual program. आता इथे try catch मध्ये तुम्ही ती मेथड हँडल केली, राईट? दिस इज द मेथड, अँड त्याला जर एक्सेप्शन आलं तर ते तुम्ही कॅच ब्लॉक मध्ये हँडल केलं. ते एक्सेप्शन कोणत्या प्रकारचं होतं? युजर डिफाईन. नाव आता व्हॅलिडेट नावाची आपली मेथड आहे. जर तुम्हाला एक्सेप्शन जनरेट होणार असेल तर आपण एक्सेप्शन काय लिहिलं? एज लेस दॅन 18. जर 18 पेक्षा कमी एज असेल तर तुम्हाला एक्सेप्शन जनरेट होणार आहे. तर ते एक्सेप्शन आपण थ्रोज कीवर्ड मध्ये मेन्शन केलं की काय एक्सेप्शन असणार. ओके, आणि इथे ते आपण डिक्लेअर केलं थ्रोज कीवर्ड यूज करून. अदरवाइज यू आर इलिजिबल. ओके, नाउ आय विल एक्झिक्यूट इट. आता मी नॉर्मल केस घेतली, इथे तुम्हाला एक्सेप्शन येणार नाही, राईट? यू आर इलिजिबल फॉर वोटिंग अँड रेस्ट ऑफ दी कोड. का तर मी इथं एज किती पास केलं? 20. नाउ सपोज आय विल पास हिअर 15, right? Now it's not eligible for voting, so it will mention the exception like this. exception occurred because we have mentioned here which type of exception? Invalid age exception. Why? Age is below 18. Age is below 18. लक्षात आलं युजर डिफाईन्ड एक्सेप्शन कसं डिझाइन करता येईल? एकदम सोपं आहे, फक्त तुम्हाला एक दोनदा ह्याची प्रॅक्टिस करावी लागेल. Then it will be very easy. Okay, have you understood it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now what I will do, I will launch the poll. Just a minute. Meanwhile, see that program. I have launched the poll. Check it and give the answers. I will consider your attendance from here. Last 20 seconds. Remaining students. 20 students. Give the reply fastly. Okay, so now you have to implement. Okay, I will stop the poll. Okay, now you can implement one user defined exception. What you have to do, I will show over here. I have implemented it for voting, right? I have implemented it for voting. Now you have to implement it for blood donation. You have to implement it for blood donation, but you have to take the two cases. One is the age, we have already written over here, but one more case you would require, that is the weight. That is weight. So you need to mention here AND operator, logical AND operator, with the help of another parameter, that is weight. लक्षात येते इंटिजर एज घेतले त्याच फॉर्मॅट मध्ये फ्लोट मध्ये वेट घ्या किंवा इंटिजर मध्ये वेट घेतलं तरी चालेल. इथं दोन पॅरामीटर्स येतील व्हॅलिडेट मध्ये, एक इंटिजर एज कॉमा इंटिजर वेट किंवा फ्लोट मध्ये घ्या चालेल. पण इथे लूप घेताना इफ मध्ये तुम्हाला दोन्ही पॅरामीटर्स हँडल करावे लागतील. जर दोन्ही अबाव असतील व्हॅल्यूज, म्हणजे एज 18 च्या अबाव असेल आणि वेट 50 कन्सिडर करा, वेट इज ग्रेटर दॅन 50, तर तुम्ही इलिजिबल असताल, अदरवाइज यू आर नॉट इलिजिबल फॉर ब्लड डोनेशन. इथं मेसेज काय, यू आर नॉट इलिजिबल फॉर ब्लड डोनेशन. लक्षात येतंय? फक्त इथं आपण काय नाव घेतलं, इनव्हॅलिड एज एक्सेप्शन. त्या केसमध्ये तुम्हाला काय नाव घ्यायचं आहे, इनव्हॅलिड ब्लड एक्सेप्शन, ब्लड डोनेशन एक्सेप्शन. ओके, एजच्या जागी इनव्हॅलिड ब्लड डोनेशन एक्सेप्शन असं कम्प्लिटली मेन्शन करायचं. ओके, मी काय करते पहिल्यांदा जो फर्स्ट क्लास होता आपला तो ओपन करते स्क्रीनशॉट काढून घ्या रेफरन्स साठी इथं तर पॅटर्न चेंज नाही होणार फक्त इथं नाव चेंज होईल जे तुम्हाला तुमचं एक्सेप्शनचं नाव द्यायचंय ते नाव इथं मी त्या पिरियड मध्ये अटेंडन्स घेते ओके ह्याचा आधी स्क्रीनशॉट काढून घ्या मग मेन प्रोग्राम मी स्क्रीनवरती चालू ठेवते okay have you taken it
Yes, ma'am.
okay so I will keep this screen as it is meanwhile I will take the attendance all of you check the attendance right now I'm writing in the chat box if anybody is present they can mention your roll numbers inside it So meanwhile, you can check the attendance also. If anybody is present, but your roll number is there, just reply over there. And take your time, 2-3 minutes, implement it. And after implementation, just drop me a message or unmute yourself so I can make you as a co-host for sharing it, that program. Okay, have you implemented? Only one thing you have to made over here means you need to add one more parameter with the help of age, that is the weight. And in if loop, you need to mention the logical and. If you will use the or operator, then exception is not handled properly. Okay, so you need to write the and operator over here. Okay, so solve it clearly. Is there anybody who has completed this one? Yes, students.
Ma'am, here we will have to use the OR operator.
If you will use OR operator, then have you tried it?
Yes, ma'am. Because if we use AND operator, if one of the condition is false, means either age or weight, then it will go to the else loop. Still, it will
Right.
print that you are eligible.
Okay. Sorry. I have not checked it. Right. You are correct. OR operator is required. Have you
Ma'am, I have
completed?
done. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will stop sharing my screen. 1 minute. Yes, Vedangi, you can share your screen.
First, I have given 9 and 7. That is, both are false.
Right.
Both condition are satisfied.
Right. Correct. Okay. Done. You have given them as an invalid weight exception. Okay. Good. Anybody else?
Can I share, ma'am?
Yes. I will make you as a co-host. 1 minute. Yes. Now you can share.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes.
First, I have taken 20 and 60. Age is 20 and weight is 60. Then you are eligible for blood donation.
Correct. Which name you have given? Invalid age exception. Okay.
Age exception.
Right.
Exception occurred.
Correct. Okay. Once again, I'm sorry because I have mentioned there as a logical and those who are implementing use the logical or only. Otherwise, it will take only one condition. If both are wrong, then and then only it will call the exception. Okay. Good.
Can I stop?
Yes, you can. Next, because I want to show the logic in which fashion you have done. Yes, anybody else who has implemented? Some of you have already shared with me on my WhatsApp. So if you want to share it, you can ask me. I will make you as a co-host. Yes, students. ज्यांना शेअर करायचं असेल त्यांनी सांगा, जेणेकरून मी तुम्हाला को-होस्ट करू शकेन. Okay, all of you completed it? Yes, students? कोणाला कुठे क्वेरी आली आहे का? ओके. पण सगळ्यांनी इम्प्लिमेंट करा. शेअर नाही केलं तरी चालेल माझ्यासोबत आत्ता लगेच. पण नंतर इम्प्लिमेंट करून शेअर करा. ओके, जस्ट अ मिनिट. Whether my voice is audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So some of you have already shared with me. Those who have shared, all are correct. Okay. Yes, those who are sharing, all are correct. No issues. Okay, so this is the very simple way to design our own exceptions. Now, today you are having one session at 2 p.m. I will share that link with you. Okay, so for today, we will stop here. Wait for 1 minute.